Hello and welcome to Heart-Filled Spaces. In this video, you will learn how to create a 3D paper snowman for your winter decor using Cricut Design Space. These snowmen are created from SVG files designed to be cut on an electronic cutting machine. There are 6 different snowman patterns available. In this video, I will walk you through opening the SVG files in Cricut Design Space and preparing them to cut. There are 2 additional videos available. The assembly video, which walks you through the different snowman designs and how to assemble them, and a 3rd video that will show you how to open the files and prepare them to cut in Silhouette Studio. The links to both of those videos are available in the description below this video, along with a link to the blog post, where you can see the supply list and purchase the SVG designs. All of the digital files are available as SVG, DXF, EPS, PNG, and PDF file formats to accommodate most cutting machine types. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to share a few important tips that will help you enjoy this paper craft a bit more. All of the project designs that I create have been thoroughly tested using the supplies that I recommend. To avoid deviation in your final result, please take care to use the correct supplies. The patterns in this project are intricate designs. When cutting this portion of the design, use 65-pound smooth, high-quality cardstock with a light grip cutting mat. I also recommend you condition a new mat to reduce its stickiness. You can do this by pressing the mat to a pillowcase or other low-lint fabric repeatedly. For mats that are already conditioned, ensure that they are clean, free of debris, and still sticky enough to hold your project into place. Lastly, use a new sharp cutting blade for best results. Now let's head on over to Cricut Design Space and I'll show you how to bring these files into your cutting machine software and prepare them to cut. So here we are in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to go ahead and bring the 3D paper snowman up onto our canvas. This project is a large project, and in order to keep things organized and not get confused, I have saved the snowman head, the snowman body, the snowman hat, and the snowman accessories in separate files. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what I mean. We're going to go over to the left-hand menu and we're going to select the Upload button. And then we're going to go to Upload Image, Browse, and I'm going to remind you that these files are going to be on your computer wherever you save them to. I have them saved here in my Documents folder, but you may have them saved in your Downloads folder or another folder that you have chosen once you unzipped the files at the time of purchase and then save them to your computer. You can see here in this folder that I have a candy cane design, a mitten design, an ornament design, a pine branch design. So the snowmen are saved separately according to their design, but then when you go in each of their folders, you'll also see them saved separately in folders according to file type. So there's a DXF folder, an EPS, a PDF, a PNG, and an SVG. I did this to keep these very organized for you. Most of you are going to be using the SVG files, and I also want to mention that on some computers, especially Windows computers, SVG files sometimes change to look like an HTML file or a web browser file. That is not the case, and those files will be the SVG files. If you open those files into Cricut Design Space, they will open up just fine for you. Okay, so here we go. I have opened the candy cane SVG files, and now you can see I have these separated into different files. So I have the candy cane accessories, the body, the hat, and the head. So we're going to work on these in the order of the snowman head, then the snowman body, then the snowman hat, and then lastly we will do the snowman accessories. So we're going to go ahead and open up the snowman head, and as you can see here, it is showing you everything that's in that file. And then we're going to go ahead down here into the lower right hand corner and we're going to select Upload. Recent uploads are always in the upper left on your icons here, and you want to select it till a green box forms around it, and then choose Add to Canvas in the lower right hand corner of your screen. If you go down here to where it says percentage in the lower left corner and you hit minus, Now you can see it took it down to 25% and it is showing you the whole file. These are all grouped together and we want to go ahead and right click on this and choose ungroup. But once you ungroup it, you'll be able to select them by canvas. I've already grouped them together so that they use the least amount of cardstock. So go into the first page here, and once you select it, it will automatically take you to that section in the layers panel. And if you look over here in the layers panel, all of the score lines are here on the top. I always do that for you. It just makes it easier. So these items here that you can't see anything next to them, those are the score lines. So we're going to go ahead and click on those and hold your shift, or I'm on a Mac, I'm holding my command key down as I go down through this menu, and I'm selecting all of the score lines here at the top. Now we're going to go over to operation and we're going to choose the drop down menu and we are going to choose score. So that turned all of our cut lines into score lines. And I'm bringing this up here closer to you so you can see here that it's a dashed line, but on the next one over it's not. That's how you know that they turned into score lines, because we have fold lines on the end of each of these panels. So once you do that, just highlight this first page, which is already grouped together, and choose attach, and that's going to hold your score lines in place. And now we're going to move over to the next page in this file, and again when I click on it, it automatically brings it to you to that section of the file. And so we're going to go ahead again and hold our shift or our command key down, and we are going to select all of these lines here at the top. Again, there's no picture next to them, that's how you know they're the score lines. And then we're going to go to operation and we're going to choose score. If I deselect that, you can see now there are dashed lines. So now we're going to highlight the second page and we're going to go ahead and attach it. And then these third and fourth pages are vellum panels. They are already grouped together to maximize your space on the page, and you can see that they will fit on an 8.5 by 11 page, each of them. So we are ready now. The snowman head is ready to be cut. We are going to choose make it, and this happened to me too. The vellum panels came up first, which is totally fine. You just need to switch these to 8.5 by 11. So if that's the size vellum you're working with, that's what I have. And then just leave these bottom two pages as 12 by 12 and choose continue. We see that the yellow panels are the vellum panels. We're going to go ahead and choose vellum, and then I always choose more when I'm cutting, just to add a little bit more pressure. And then we are going to load the vellum on a clean light grip mat, and we're going to go ahead and load it into our machine. And then it's telling you here that you're going to want to choose the fine point blade in clamp B, and then you're going to go ahead and hit your go button. You're going to repeat that for the first and the second page, and then the third page we're going to come back up here to base material, and we are going to choose cardstock for intricate cuts. This is a very important setting. These are very intricate cuts, and you want to make sure that they cut properly. It takes a little bit of time to cut these panels. You want to make sure you're choosing the right setting. Again, we are using 65 pounds smooth cardstock. You want to use a high quality cardstock. You want to load that on a clean light grip mat, and you want to make sure you're using a relatively new blade, if not one that's right out of the package, and that's where you're going to get the best results on these cuts. So we are going to go ahead and choose cardstock for intricate cuts. We are going to choose more under the pressure, and now it's telling you, it's saying load your scoring wheel and clamp B. Load our cardstock on our light grip mat. We're going to load that into the machine. We are going to load the scoring wheel and clamp B, and then we're going to hit the go button on our machine. When that has finished, the second step is going to be the fine point blade. We're going to load that in our machine, and then we're going to hit go again. We're going to repeat that step for the next mat, and then we're going to click finished. So now we are back out on our canvas, and we have completed cutting all of the pieces for the snowman head. So I'm going to hit Command A, or you could do Control A on a PC, and then I'm just going to delete this project because we're done with it. Now we're going to go back to Upload, and we're going to do Upload Image, Browse, and we're going to go under the SVG files, and now we're going to choose the snowman body and choose Open. Then we're going to upload that onto our canvas, select the file, and choose Add to Canvas. And then we're going to go over here to the percentage, and we're going to minimize this so that we could see it. Now you can see this is a much bigger file. There are more parts to the snowman body. So the very first thing we're going to do is right click on it and we're going to ungroup, and that separates it into the individual canvas sizes. So we're going to click on the first grouping, and then we're going to go ahead and go down through all of these score lines at the top. We're going to choose operation and score, and then we're going to highlight everything in that grouping, and we're going to choose attach. Then we're going to move on to the next panel, and we're going to repeat that step. You can see on this third panel, you'll see like a black rectangle in the middle. That's because it is a score line and it is filled in. But once you select it over here in the layers panel and then the layer beneath it, and you go over here to choose operation and score, it again changes that to the score line the way that it's supposed to be. And then we're going to go ahead and attach those lines again. Your 4th, 5th, and 6th page are all vellum and there's no score lines, but the very last page is the acetate layer, which is the center support for the snowman body. And if you click on that, you'll see in this top layer there is one score line on that as well. So we want to go ahead and choose score, and then we want to go ahead and attach that layer. So that quickly we worked through all of these panels, and now we can just go ahead and make it. And it put the acetate layer on top, which is good because I'm going to walk you through this. The acetate that I'm using is 12 by 12, so I'm going to leave that one alone, but the vellum that I am using is 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to go ahead and change those to 8.5 by 11, and you can see it kicked it onto 3 pages now, which is totally fine. Okay, and then we're going to go down. I'll show you what these other layers are going to look like really quick before we head over to cut them. Okay, so everything's looking good. All of our score lines are attached and everything is the right size. I'm going to go ahead and choose continue. Okay, so here we are. The very top layer here is the acetate, and the cut setting for acetate is under browse all materials, and then it's actually under plastic. So you're going to type in plastic, hit enter, and then you can see that the acetate setting is right there on the top. So select that until a check mark is next to it, and then go down to the bottom and choose done. And then I did go ahead and add more pressure, and so what we're going to do is we're going to load our acetate. That's the clear acetate. We're going to load that on our light grip mat. That is going to be in a 12 by 12 sheet, and we are going to put our scoring wheel into clamp B. We're going to go ahead and score that, and then we're going to go ahead and follow that up with the fine point blade in clamp B, and we're going to go ahead and cut out the shape. And then the next one down is vellum. So when we get to this layer here, we're going to go ahead and go back under base material. We're going to select that and we're going to choose vellum, and then under pressure we're going to choose more, and then we're going to go ahead and load our fine point blade into clamp B, load our vellum on a clean light grip mat, and then load that into the machine. We're going to repeat that step for all 3 of these layers, and then when we get to layer 5, this is where we get to the cardstock for intricate cuts. So we're going to go to our base material, we're going to click on that, we're going to choose cardstock for intricate cuts. I'm going to choose more for pressure, and then it's telling you here, load your scoring wheel into clamp B. You're going to put your 65-pound smooth cardstock on a light grip mat, and then you're going to load that in your machine, and you're going to hit go. And then when it is done scoring, you're going to load your fine point blade into clamp B, and then you're going to hit go. These layers are going to take a little bit more time to cut because they're intricate cuts. So you're going to repeat that step then for mat 6, and then when you get to mat 7, you could cut this without the intricate cut setting. It's your choice. I just go ahead and leave it on there. This is a simpler cut, but you will need to add your scoring wheel for this mat, and then when it's finished scoring, you'll need to add your fine point blade. So that would be everything for the snowman body. And then we are going to select everything on our canvas. I hit Command A for selecting everything. If you're on a PC, I believe it's Control A on a PC. Once everything's selected, hit your delete key so there's nothing left here. And then we're going to go back and we're going to upload the snowman hat. So we'll go to our upload. We're going to go to upload image, browse. We're working on the candy cane design. and we're under the SVG, and there it is. We're going to choose the hat, then we're going to choose open, and then we're going to do upload. Select the first option, choose add to canvas, and here the snowman hat is on the canvas. I'm going to shrink this down so that you can see the whole file, and we're going to go ahead and right click and ungroup. For the snowman hat, I've put all of the score lines at the very top. It was just easier to do it that way. There's not as many items in this file. So if you just take the first layer, the second layer, and the third layer and select them all, and then go to operation, choose the drop down menu and choose score. Now we have to go back though and attach them. So we're going to do that on the first item, and then we're going to do it on the last, what I would call map, but there's 2 items here. You want to attach them, and that's it. We are ready to make it. So we're going to go into make it. Now for the hat, these are simpler designs. If you want to use a heavier cardstock, feel free to do that. Just make sure you choose the appropriate setting when you send it to cut. All of these have to be cut on 12 by 12 cardstock in order for them to be the right size. So we're just going to hit continue. You do not have to choose intricate cuts for this one. Intricate cuts every line twice. So I don't usually do that on these simpler cuts. I don't find it to be necessary, but you do need to choose whichever paper weight that you're using, whether it be 65-pound cardstock or 80-pound cardstock. I found that the 80-pound worked a little nicer for the hat, but you want to choose the correct cardstock here that you're working with. So let's just go ahead and choose 80-pound cardstock, and then we will choose more. And then you can see here it says load the single scoring wheel in clamp B. Then you're going to put your cardstock on your light grip mat and load it into your machine. You're going to score it. Then you're going to add your fine point blade to clamp B and hit go. And then you're just going to repeat that step. The 2 middle mats do not have a score line, but the last mat does. So, and then you're back out on your canvas. You're going to do Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC, and then choose delete. Now the last file that we're going to load is the snowman accessories, and you can see here the snowman accessories, and we're going to choose open, and then we're going to choose upload. We're going to select that file and choose add to canvas. We're going to go ahead and fix the score lines. So let's go ahead over here in the layers panel, hold our command key down on a Mac or our shift key on a PC, and we're going to go through all of these layers here at the top. These are all the score lines. You're going to go to operation and then choose score. And you can see they all changed to dashed lines. Now, what I found easiest, because we have to attach all these lines and we're cutting them on different colored cardstock, the first thing you're going to need to do is ungroup this mat. And then the next thing you're going to want to do, at least how I did this, was I grabbed the orange piece, which sometimes grabs that red piece as well. That's okay, we can just move that one back over. And then I grabbed the blue, the light blue, and I put it down here. Because these, for me, I'm cutting them all on different color cardstock. These here are just 2 different types of eyes you can use. I preferred the slit, the little slanted like happy eye on mine, but you can do however you choose. But we're gonna go ahead and attach these. That's why I separated them out. So this little carrot nose has 2 fold lines. You're gonna need to attach that. And then whenever I did the accessories, I did them all on the same pattern paper. So I just highlighted all of these together and chose attach. So now when we go ahead to cut this, you're gonna have a red layer, an orange layer, a dark blue, and a teal layer. So let's go ahead and choose make it, and we're going to say we're going to cut it on a mat, and we're going to do confirm. This first page, all of these items I cut on pattern paper, and to give you a quick run through, these top 4 items are all the snowman scarf, and these goggles looking piece, swim goggle looking piece, and this little rectangle here, these are the bow. And then this thin line here and the curved thin line, that that is the ribbon for around the snowman hat, just so you know what each of those pieces are. And I cut all of these on the same pattern paper for each snowman. And then the next mat down, this is gonna be the snowman nose, which I chose to cut in orange cardstock. The light blue or teal, I made the snowman eyes black. And then this last snowflake, I usually coordinated this snowflake with whatever color hat I chose on the snowman, but that's how I did it. You could do this however you choose. This top layer has to be 12 by 12 cardstock because there's so many items on it, but these could be 8.5 by 11 or whatever cardstock size you have left for these pieces. So I'm gonna hit continue. And then just as a reminder, this top layer here, I cut all these out of pattern paper, so I chose to use heavy pattern paper material setting, and then I chose more under pressure. And then it tells you you're going to load your pattern paper on your light grip mat. You're going to put your scoring wheel in clamp B. You're going to load your mat into your machine, hit the go button, and then score it. And then the next step will be to load the fine point blade and then cut it. The little carrot nose, this I cut out of cardstock, so I would have come back up here and chose 65-pound cardstock. I would have added more pressure. And this also has some score lines on it. So again, you're just going to repeat that step. You're going to load your scoring wheel into clamp B, load your cardstock on your mat, load it in your machine, press go. Then you're going to load your fine point blade and hit go again to cut that out. The third one is just a cut, and that's going to be eyes. So I chose black cardstock for that. And the last one is the snowflake. I would choose cardstock for intricate cuts on that. It's a more detailed design. And then I would use 65-pound cardstock if I were cutting this little snowflake out. And then just load your cardstock on your mat, load your mat in your machine, make sure the fine point blade is in there, and hit go. And that is it. You have cut all of your pieces now for Cricut Design Space, and you'll go ahead and head over to watch the assembly video on how to put it all together. Thanks so much for watching.